Let me share my slide. Okay, so similar as just now, if you have any questions that you thought of when I'm basically doing this briefing, just place it in the chat box and then we'll revisit that. Okay, so we'll start with the academic matters of postgraduate research program. So this one we have talked about it. Okay, so but particularly for research, you would have a coordinator, so coordinator for research program, and the coordinator would be the key person. Okay, but hopefully we'll get a new coordinator soon and we'll share the details. But meanwhile, you can if there are any research question, you can always get back to me. Okay, so I should be able to answer. If can't, usually I refer to IPSIS also. Okay, so if you have any questions about research at this current moment, just get back to me. Basically for research, you need to know two person. For Masters by Research, Dr. Siti Hamida. For PhD, Dr. Shafiq. Okay, so it doesn't run from there. And for administration, okay, so administration purposes, the submission of forms and so on, Puan Mardiana, she's basically super good on all the academic matters. Okay, so Puan Mardiana and Puan Ezrin. Okay, so research, those are the persons that you need to know for research. Okay, right. So for research and coursework, actually it is pretty different. Okay, so the process, the nature, the journey, it is different. So coursework is very much structured. Research is very much, well, unstructured. Okay, so it is quite subjective, it is quite open, it is for you to explore. So it is a different experience by itself. So I'll start my presentation with the fees, financial matters. Let me check and if I've started the recording. Oh, yes. Okay, so fees, financial matters, and then registration, the terms. Okay, so what are the rules and regulation? The major milestone that you will foresee yourself when you are enrolled in a research program, and the supervision of research student. Okay. So first and foremost, fees and financial matters. Okay, so the fees payment, we just place it out here so that normally if you don't pay the fees, then you will receive this Google Taraf. Okay, so basically dismissal lah. Okay, so the tuition fees basically is per semester, and for this semester, the last date will be 12 July. Okay, so and this one I've mentioned this prior to in the general slide. Okay, so there are ways for you to actually stagger your tuition fees. Okay, so but you need to apply for it. Okay, so you can check in the general poster, or I think I have it at the end as well. Okay. Okay, so 12 July for this, and also UPTA as well. Okay, so for UPTA basically is open for full-time students. Very much the reason is because most of the teaching or most of the facilitation of lab, it is done during weekdays. Okay, so during office hours. It is open until 19 March. Okay, and a lot of the time, student actually also apply for Graduate Excellence Program, GREP, MARA. So this is for Bumi. And you can actually look into the link for the information. Except that, if I'm not mistaken, it is open annually, but it is in September. Okay, so if you can't apply it now, you can apply it in September. So it is in the form of convertible loan. Okay, so it is a loan, but if you have completed and it could be converted to a scholarship. Okay, and also this is a highly challenging scholarship, but why not? Okay, so just you can basically just give it a try as well. Okay, so we have your TEM endowment scholarship, and you could go through the QR code or check on the Facebook, and basically why not? Okay, and anything related to finance. Okay, so it goes through the bursary. So actually for us, we are not holding, at the college level, we are not holding any monetary issues, any nothing. Okay, so we don't have access to anything of your fees or whatsoever. So anything related to monetary, it goes back to the bursary. Okay, so for postgraduate, we have dedicated bursary for it. Okay, so if you're looking into special leave, or if you're looking into TC submission, we have different zone of bursary. So just check if you're looking into scholarship, education fund, or if you're receiving any local scholarship, any international scholarship, or even if you're looking into EPF withdrawal, you get to the person in charge. Okay, so there would be the email and also the mobile number. Okay, so this is very handy, especially if you have anything related to finance that you want to get clarification, or you need to get information. Okay, so and so on. So done on the financial matters. Okay, so let's move on to registration. So I've highlighted in the general information, research student. Hold on, someone is asking about the link for Dr. Hafiz session. Okay, someone here. Okay, all right. So for online registration, it will be open from 27 to 17 March. So this is for coursework. Okay, however, this for research, it is open until 23rd June. Okay, so for coursework, it is open until 17 March, obviously, because next week the class is already starting. But for research, it is open until 23rd June. However, I would strongly advise you not to wait until 23rd June, because that is already almost ending of the semester. Okay, so towards the end of the semester, if you register at that point of time, it will be such a waste. Okay, because you are only active for maybe several weeks before the semester leave. Okay, so because the semester fees for UiTM, it is per semester. So it is not from the time prorated from the time you register. No, even if you register 23rd June, and compared to you registering now, the fees will be the same. So don't delay the registration, because you will be losing a lot. So in terms of the access to all the software, in terms of library resources, so quite a lot. Okay, and trust me, library is so expensive. You are talking about millions that we pay for subscription for such as Science Direct, millions. So for research, please make use of the library. You can download a lot of e-books and so on. So please really make use of the library, because it's very expensive actually. Okay. All right. So how do you actually register? Okay. So for new student, I'm pretty sure you have registered. Okay. So the first registration is slightly different, but when you're entering the second semester, third semester, fourth semester, you would register through iStudent Portal. Okay. It is not automatic registration. You need to enter iStudent Portal and you need to register there. Okay. But before you can register, you will need to complete RISU-4. Okay. So just follow the step. Okay. So complete the RISU-4, register online through e-academic system in the iStudent Portal, and then generate the bill. All right. So you need to do this every semester as long as you are active. Okay. So please remember that. Okay, so registration for returning student is online. Okay, so through iStudent Portal. And also for any student who are on special leave and on deferment, the coming semester when you are back after your leave, and also for deferment, you need to register online. Okay, so everything is online, except for students who have actually gone through Viva. Okay, so for students who have actually gone through Viva, you need to submit it manually. Okay, so that will be later on through into your study. Okay, so there are two links. Okay, so research registration process, you can go through this link, and link to your student portal if you have not known it yet. Okay, for registration for student manually, okay, which means you cannot register it through the iStudent Portal. It is the form. You need to download this form. It's only for students who have gone through Viva and also students who have exceeded their exceeded their duration of study. Okay, so RMTP is rayuan meneruskan tempoh pengajian. For example, okay, so if you are full-time student registered before 2018, your maximum semester would be 10 semesters. Let's say this is your 11th semester. If this is your 11, but you have not completed, you have exceeded your duration of study, then you will get a dismissal, D11, for exceeding the duration of study. Then you can't apply online because you are no more active. You need to apply it manually. Okay, so only two categories that are required to register manually. So please make sure you register the returning student. You need to register within the time frame, which is 5th April. Okay, so returning student, you need to do this registration here, okay, by 5th April. All right, so that's on registration. First thing first, you need to complete that every early of the semester. I would suggest first week of the semester, do that. Okay, it's just a simple procedure. Okay, so these are the terms I've gone through just now. I suppose it could be understood well. So if you have any question on the rules of this, just let me know at the end of the session. Okay, so we have gone through this. PhD as well. Okay. So for research student, the academic sectors are pretty straightforward. Every semester, you need to submit a progress report, and the progress report is being assessed by your main supervisor. So your main supervisor can allocate you SM, sedang maju, or if the supervisor thinks that you have been quite lacking in regards of your progress, they might give you amaran 1. In English, it would be the first warning. Okay. And then the second warning and the third warning. Okay. So for master student, maximum warning that you can get, not necessarily consecutively. Let's say, for example, you get a warning this semester, and then you are research in progress, and then you get a second warning, then you'll be given dismiss. Okay, so for masters, up to 2 times warning. For PhD, up to 3 times warning. So, but please, I believe that if you are constantly in communication with your supervisor, I don't think you will get AM. Okay, so just be in progress, talk to your supervisor. If you have issue, talk to them, just let them know. Okay, so your supervisor should be your closest closest person basically throughout your research journey. Okay, D10 is the one we do not want to accept. Okay, and basically is this just because you did not submit your progress report? As simple as that. If you did not submit your progress report at the end of every semester, you get the dismissal. Okay, so and it is a very simple form for you to provide. Okay, so please, okay, so do not fall into D10. And D11 basically exceeding the maximum duration of study. So for those who are new, okay, so now, or basically student who have enrolled after 2018, March 2018, maximum semester for masters will be 8, maximum semester for PhD will be 14 semesters. Okay, so masters will be maximum 8 semesters, PhD maximum 14 semesters. So please, please, please do not exceed that maximum duration. Okay, so let's move on to major milestone for a research student. Okay, so for a research student, there are not many things. Okay, so there are not many milestones that we are looking at, particularly if you're talking about 4 years. These are the only things. Okay, and some of it is just a stage, a milestone, but not very much on you, but it is more on the university. Okay. So, well, you begin your journey with your application. You have registered. Okay, so the next step will be for you to appoint the supervisor. And once after appointing the supervisor, you will need to conduct your first first challenge lah, basically. So your DRP, Defense Research Proposal. For masters, full-time student, you need to do it by within 6 months. For masters part-time student, you need to do it within 1 year. For PhD, okay, so PhD full-time, you need to do it within 12 months. And for part-time PhD student, your DRP should be within 1.5 years, okay, 3 semesters. So once you have done that, defend, actually, you have a very long time here before you actually submit your thesis. Okay, intention to submit. So your thesis submission. So for a PhD, if let's say full-time student, if you have completed your DRP in semester 2 within 1 year, and then you intend to submit your thesis in year 3, so your second year, the 4th year. Okay, so it will be a long time from the time you finish your DRP until your thesis submission. Okay, so this is where sometimes students go missing. So this is where it's pretty dangerous, and you need to really get yourself together and manage yourself, because sometimes with that time and with less monitoring, sometimes you get, diverted. Okay, so that is where your progress report comes into picture every semester. So look into the progress report, see what are the things they require, and talk to your supervisor. There should be certain milestone that is being given every semester, for example. Maybe you need to come up with certain article, certain paper. So those paper could actually help you in your thesis. Because once you submit paper, so it builds up as your thesis. Okay, so at least that keeps you in momentum. So without any aim, just leaving it open, sometimes it does not give you that a sense of accomplishment for certain milestone though. Okay, so it's very important every semester, at the front end of the semester, sit down with your supervisor and put a target to it. Okay, so end of the semester, we need to complete that certain chapter that actually could be in the form of certain paper. Okay, right, so the long journey here. And let's say you have reached 90% of your thesis writing, then you can submit your notice of intention. So notice of intention form here should be submitted 3 months before you submit your thesis. So you cannot submit it together because we need to have this appointment of examiners prior to that. So we need to have the appointment of examiners prior to that. And appointment of examiners is not, there are some processes to it. Okay, so we need to get the names from the supervisor. Supervisor provide us the name with 3 documents. Okay, so the CV, as long as it address the requirement, we have to bring it to the meeting. So meeting of postgraduate and meeting of college academic. So 2 meetings, and upon approval from the meeting, then we allow the student to submit the thesis. Okay, so the reason is if you submit it together, your thesis will be sitting on our desk for a very long time. Okay, so we don't want that. So hence, at least you provide 3 months before, you have another 3 months actually to continue writing, improving your thesis. Okay, so that's the very reason. So please make sure that if you are intending to submit your thesis in August, 3 months before, submit the intention to submit thesis form, so that we can do the proper arrangement of your examiners. Okay. All right. So once you have submitted your thesis, you are almost 1/4 leg completed. Okay. So basically, you have completed your journey almost, I would say 90% actually. So sometimes the thesis submission is like almost the end of journey, but belum okay, so not yet. It's almost 90%. So once you have submitted your thesis will be sent to the examiner. Examiner would be given 1 month to examine the thesis, come back with the report, and we can set up the viva. Okay, so after the viva, normally you would have certain correction. So far, as far as we have conducted postgraduate at College of Engineering for 2 years, we had 2 theses without correction. So far, 2 theses out of a few hundred. Okay, so we have conducted Viva for at least no less than 100. So only 2 theses without correction. Okay, so other than that, minor correction, major, but so far no failure. Okay, so obviously we do not want that. All right, so this is correction. And once you have done that, we can proceed with format checking. Okay, this will be done by IPSIS. Once you have passed through the format checking, digital format checking, and your name will be submitted to the Senate. And once you get the Senate, that ultimately ends the end of your study. So the ultimate will be the Senate. Okay, so registration, Senate. Okay, and then you may wait for your convocation for quite a lengthy time for your convocation. Okay, so and for a PhD, you would have a holding ceremony prior to the convocation. Okay, so that will be a research journey. So there are not many milestones. So hence your commitment, the perseverance is really on you. Okay, so I wouldn't say it's easy, but ultimately the success to the satisfaction that you gain out of that will be, irreplaceable. Okay, so let's talk about the timeline for GOT. So for GOT, masters, okay, so the timeline would be 2 years. Okay, so for masters, it would be 2 years. For PhD, it would be 4 years. So usually for a master's research student, if you aim to get a GOT, your thesis should be submitted within 18 months. Okay, within 1.5 years. And if you aim for PhD, if you aim to for GOT, your thesis should be submitted within 3.5 years. Okay, so just allow another last 6 months for all this. Viva, correction, format, Senate. We might cut shorter here, okay, but that will be quite tight of a time. Okay, so just an allowance of 6 months. Okay, so for master's research, 1.5 years. For PhD, 3.5 years for thesis submission. Okay, meaning to say that this one here. Okay, right. So the next thing, okay, the appointment of a supervisor. So after registration, you need to do the appointment of supervisor. And the appointment of supervisor, okay, so let me just go straight here first. Okay, the appointment of supervisor, first thing first, UP Tracks, I'm sure you've heard of UP Tracks, but that is not the first process. Okay, so the first process is basically to complete the main and co-supervisor nomination form and submit to here. So all the main and supervisor nomination form is given in the drive that I've shared just now. But I'll share again the QR code and link later, right? So the form could be found in the drive and email it here once your supervisor has completed it. The form looks like this. Okay, so this one for main supervisor, this one for co-supervisor, right? So the reason why we do not go straight to UP Tracks is because when we present the nomination in the meeting, the UP Track does not show in detail each details of the supervisor. Okay, so the form basically allows the thesis name, the supervisor, the address, and how many they are currently supervising. Okay, so actually there is a rule. A supervisor should not have more than 15 students. So the UP track system is pretty limited in what it can actually showcase in regards to the detail. So when we are presenting in a meeting, we can't just show the name, that's all. Okay, so we need to show the details so that it could be properly evaluated by the meeting committee. Okay, so complete that and email to this address, and we need to bring it to the meeting. So that is when here. Okay, so you nominate through the form, and we will bring it to the Jawatan Kuasa Academic Pengajian Pasca Siswaza College. Okay, so this will be the postgraduate committee meeting. And you will be pushed on to the academic postgrad, no, it will be pushed to the engineering academic committee meeting. And then once approved here, we will email you mentioning that your nomination has been approved by the meeting, and you can follow through in the UP track to nominate them. Okay, so if you look into the point here, okay, so after the nomination endorsed in the meeting, an email will be sent to the student, and you can proceed to nominate the supervisor through the UP track system. Okay, so for UP track, you need to search under College of Engineering for the lecturer's name, for your supervisor's name. Not Faculty of Civil Engineering, not Faculty of Mechanical, no. You need to go into the tab College of Engineering. So you will be able to find your supervisors there. Okay, so I think this is okay. And just a simple guide. Okay, so supervisor, their function is to assist and advise. Okay, so they are not supposed to do your work, and they are not supposed to let you do everything without assisting. So expectation needs to be clarified. Okay, so because supervisor and student, you need to work hand in hand. Is a symbiotic relationship. Okay, so it is not that only you have the benefit, or the student supervisor has the benefit. No. Okay, so it should be a smart partnership, and it should be a win-win situation. So because for a supervisor, what they gain out of it, actually to apply, okay, so to apply for associate professor or for professor, there is a compulsory criteria on graduated research student. Okay, so for example, if a lecturer is actually applying from senior lecturer to associate professor, so the requirement is a compulsory requirement is to have graduated at least one master's by research student, for example, as main supervisor. So for professor, for example, you must have graduated at least one PhD student as main supervisor, for example. So it is a win-win situation. So that's why it should be a smart partnership. Okay, and you on the other hand, at the end, you basically could graduate successfully. So that's the idea. Okay, so hence it should be mutually agreed upon how you and your supervisor will be working together. Okay, and communication, very important, communication. Okay, so in regards to progress report, okay, every semester, end of semester, your supervisor must evaluate your progress report. You must fill it out and pass on to the supervisor. The last session and the sections after that will be by your supervisor. Okay, so once you have done it, you can pass the progress report to us, and the progress report result will be presented in the meeting. Everything we do, the supervisor, the examiner, everything, it is actually endorsed in the meeting. So it is not the postgraduate office decision. Okay, so it is a decision from the meeting. So we are just the gatekeeper to ensure that whatever forms given to us, it is adhering to the basic requirement or basic rule. Okay. So criteria, I think we don't need to go detail on this. Okay, so I believe the supervisors they're appointing should be a doctoral and so on, and UiTM staff. Okay, okay, so this is the layout for UP track. Okay, so this should be done after you have done the nomination using the form first. Okay, so we inform you that your supervisor that you have nominated have been successfully endorsed by the meeting. Then you can place it in this UP track. And for UiTM lecturer, search under College of Engineering. Okay, so once you have done on the supervisor, okay, you work together with your supervisor, come up with the proposal. So for proposal, master's full-time, usually within 6 months, part-time 12 months, doctoral student full-time 12 months, part-time 18 months. Okay, and these are the DRP results. Okay, so once you have gone through DRP, you should know there are several points to that and what are the results. So we have accepted without amendment, minimal, and minimal. So accept that verification by whom? Okay, so the minimal here will be verified by the supervisor. The minimal here will be verified by the DRP panel. And then you have major. So usually major is like you need to represent. Okay, hopefully you do not fall into this. And less than 65 basically is rejected. So far we have not received any rejection lah. Okay, so the most is basically represented. And usually you'll be given three chances to defend. Okay, and for DRP, okay, so there are compulsory courses you need to take before you can actually go for DRP. So for masters and PhD, okay, so the compulsory courses for both will be the IGF Research Skills Seminar. I've checked the IPSIS because this is organized by IPSIS. I've checked the IPSIS website. They do not have the dates for this semester yet. Okay, so once they have the date, I will share with all of you later. Okay, so they have not come out with a date for this semester. So for master's PhD, this is needed. But for PhD, only for PhD, not for masters, you need to also go for training in innovation and entrepreneurship exploration. Okay, TIE Square. So you need to go for this as well. So for TIE Square, you can do the registration through this link. Okay, so there are classes for different dates, so you can check whether the availability through the following link. Okay. So you go for consultation with the supervisor, submit the documents. Okay, so for DRP as well, we have certain dates set for every semester. So we will be opening the DRP a month before the date. So for example, the coming DRP is in May. So we will open the link for you to register in April. Okay, so it will be through Google Form and also through UP Track. Okay, so DRP slide and also too. But normally for DRP, we have a briefing session as well so that you're clear what you need to submit and so on. Okay, so done on DRP, every semester before you submit your thesis, you need to submit progress report. Okay, so I've highlighted this red because quite a lot of students actually miss out on submitting progress report, and at the end of the semester they got dismissed, D10, and the coming semester they need to make this appeal, and they need to pay a certain sum for it as well. So don't waste your money, just complete the progress report every semester and you do not get the dismissal status and so on. Okay, so if you are active student, you need to submit it every semester, except for students who are not active, such as if you are on deferment, if you are on medical special leave, then you do not need to submit the progress report. Okay, so compulsory every semester. Okay, so can be submitted by you or by the supervisor. And make sure there are different forms for masters and also for PhD student. Okay, and in the progress report, usually we will request you to submit a YouTube link as well. Okay, recording of your progress presentation. So why we need this? Basically, in your progress report, actually it is stated the requirement for a colloquium. So we actually require, or we actually empower the lecturers or the supervisors to actually conduct their mini colloquium among the student and just share with us the YouTube link. But obviously, we'll share with you how you actually make sure that your YouTube link is not open to public. Okay, so it is not for general viewing or whatsoever. It is just for you to access every semester's progress on your own. Okay, and also for us to have a certain record. Okay, so the reminder for the submission of progress report, we will provide in the Telegram. Okay, so we have official Telegram group. I will share at the end. These are the link that you can actually download the progress report. But don't worry, a month before the deadline, we will provide you all the necessary documents and also information. But please make sure you are enrolled in the Telegram group that I'll show you the address later. Okay, so once you're progressively done your research, every semester sedang maju and no issue with that, ultimately you will reach to the point of thesis submission and viva. Okay, so you will have a different means phases of viva, basically before viva, during viva, post viva, and senate. So before viva is where we expect to receive your notice of intention. Okay, so 3 months before though. Okay, so 3 months before, and then we select the examiner, we appoint the examiner. So once the examiner has been appointed, then you can submit your thesis. Okay, so you submit your thesis, then we send your thesis to the examiner. Once we get all the examination reports ready, then we will set the viva date. Okay, so examiner report, viva date. And then you go for your viva. Okay, so this is where you have the viva. And post viva is where you will be doing your correction. So correction done, formatting done, checked, then your name will be sent for the Senate. So Senate is held once every month. Okay, so early of the month. Okay, so intention to submit thesis or notice of intention must be emailed here. Any application form or whatsoever you need to submit to this email. So it is very much easier. You can practically just memorize this email. As long as you are active research student, never forget this email. Okay, so anything. So coe_pg_research@uitm.edu.my. Okay, so submit the form 3 months before. And there is a supplementary documents that you need to submit with the form. Abstract, no more than 400. Table of content, and the plagiarism check. Okay, so it should be less than 30%. Okay, so once approved of your examiner, you need to submit your thesis within 3 months. Okay, so if you have submitted your thesis after 3 months, maybe month 5, your notice will be null and you need to resubmit new notice of intention. Okay, so it is not that. You just need to resubmit the notice. Okay, so this is the flow chart. Okay, so examiners, basically for masters, 2%. Internal, external. Internal means internal to UiTM. External means within the country. So for PhD, we have one internal, one external, or international. Okay, so basically for PhD, actually the compulsory is external. Okay, so your supervisor sometimes might not take the internal, so you might want to nominate external, international. Yes, she can or he can. Okay. Okay, so these are just some criteria for examiners that your supervisor needs to know. Okay, maybe not you, but your supervisor. Okay, and we also check on the age index of the examiners as well. Okay, so not that high. So for internal, is basically age index of 1, external 3 for masters. And for PhD, X index 3, PhD H index 5 for PhD. Okay, so but this basically should be made known to your supervisor, not very much you. Okay. Okay, I think these are just fine. Okay, so these are just thesis submission. Now we accept the thesis in soft copy. Those were the days that we require 5 thick hardbound thesis. But post-COVID, something good came out of it. Basically, it is in digital form, so soft copy, then we can save a lot of trees, basically. Okay, so soft copy and proof of publication as well. Okay, so remember this, okay, for masters, you need to have at least 1 index publication, whether it is a conference proceeding, it is journal, is fine. Okay, so but it needs to be indexed, whether it is Scopus, Web of Science, ERA, or MySite. For PhD 2. Okay, and for paper, please make sure that you are the main author. Okay, your supervisor usually comes as corresponding author. Okay, so that is the common practice. So if you have written most of the content in the paper and your supervisor basically more of correcting it, criticizing, or making corrections here and there, your supervisor will be the second name but a corresponding author. But if you have written the whole paper, the draft has been done by you, then you should be the main author. Okay, so that's important. So because if you're not the main author, if you're looking in regards to going for Excellence Research Award, then you won't be able to get it. Okay, so make sure that whatever paper you're coming up with, you should be the main author. Okay, right. So there are forms that you can actually find in the oh no, this is thesis format. Okay, so for UiTM, one thing, the thesis is quite the format is quite tricky. Okay, so this will be the link for the thesis template, and you can also download it from the IPSIS website as well. It's basically under the form and download. Okay, so it should be there. So okay, so this will be Viva, nothing much here. So Viva, and this will be the results for Viva. Okay, so accepted without correction. Majority actually falls into the minor correction category. Okay, so actually minimal falls into the major correction, minimal. So most of the candidates fall under the minor correction. This one, none. Okay, so we do not have any failed students so far. Okay, so hopefully not. Okay, okay, so this two. Okay, so digital thesis formatting and endorsement result convocation. Once you attain the Senate approval, that signals the end of your study. Okay, so you just need to wait for the invitation to the convocation. Okay, so digital thesis submission. Okay, so this is another thing that I want to highlight if you are looking forward into an award. Okay, so we call it APC, Anugerah Penyelidik Cemerlang Excellent Research Award. Okay, so in order for you to actually go for Excellent Research Award, you need to have completed your study within the GOT period. For masters, 2 years. For PhD, 4 years. Okay, so the date will be from the date of registration till the date of Senate. Okay, so that will be the GOT duration. And your exam, you should have fulfilled category 1 or 2. No amendment or minor. So for this award, you can't afford to have major. Okay, no disciplinary action and so on. Okay, so publish in at least one journal as the main author. Okay, for APC, in order for you to go for APC as a master's research student, it must be journal. For you to submit the thesis, not necessary journal, it could be conference proceeding. But if you are looking forward to have this, then it should be a journal. Okay, so please bear that in mind as main author. Okay, and you need to have presented your findings in one seminar or one conference. Okay, so PhD, the rules are similar, except that 2 journals, and also you have presented in 2 conferences. Okay, so it is double up because the duration is double. Right, so these are the forms where you can find all the forms. Okay, so they have placed it under one tab. Okay, so just scroll all the way down, you should be able to find the form that is being required. This is form, notice of intention, if you want to convert your master's to PhD. Okay, and this will be the academic calendar for March 2023. Okay, so registration date for returning student, please remember to register yourself before 5th April. Okay, so for research before 5th April, and then um research progress. Okay, so research progress before 24th July, but that is for us to key in the system. We will have a date earlier than that because we need to make sure that we check through and all students have submitted. Okay, so we'll come up with the deadlines later on. So it should be slightly earlier than that. Okay, and for those who are actually looking into submitting the thesis submission, so this semester will be 30th August. Okay, what it means, actually you can submit your thesis anytime, except that sometimes we have students who have reached thesis submission period, and if let's say they want to what they call, they want next semester's fees to be exempted, then they need to submit by 30th August. Okay, so for example, a student submit the thesis by 14th September. If the student submit the thesis by 14th September, the fees for the next semester will be generated. Okay, so any thesis which is submitted within this semester, next semester you will not need to pay for fees. You just wait for the viva. Okay, so practically your full tuition fees stops when you submit the thesis. Okay, so for this semester, the last date to submit thesis will be 30th August, so that the coming semester, there is no fees and you just need to wait for your viva, do your correction and submit your thesis. Okay. Uh, okay, so this is the same. And this one is important. For all the research students here, our means of communicating with all of you will be through the Telegram. We do have dedicated groups, WhatsApp group for each school, but we have yet to properly tidy up quite a lot of groups being built throughout the different semesters. So once we tidy up each of the group for every school, we will share with you. But meanwhile, this is the most, what do you call, the most important or the main means of communicating to you, research student. Okay, so official Telegram, CEPG research group. This is the link and also the QR code. So you may join in this, and instructions and informations, any webinars, so it will be shared there. Okay, and this will be the official email of ours. Okay, all right. So let me quickly open up the chat box to see if there are any questions. I'll first go into the chat box. Okay, I'll answer the question, and then if you verbally have question, then you ask me, and at the end I will place all the link as well in the chat box so that you can download the, I will place the Telegram, and I will place the notes for today. Okay, so all the documents for today to access the drive. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see where we stopped just now. Okay, I think Nazirul here, I think. So I was successfully registering for Microsoft student account, but I still unable to even register my student portal as instructed in the postgraduate student guideline. I open this link, okay, but the server is error, eh? Can try searching with them. Okay, that's weird though. I suppose the others have registered. Maybe Nazirul, you can try to PM me. I'll just check your status. It shouldn't be a problem, but just PM me. Just PM me, then I'll try to see what might be the issue, eh? Okay, so Gabriel, I can try searching UiTM student portal. Okay. Haris said, when is the stage to apply for conversion? Okay, Haris. For masters by research, if a full-time student, you should be doing your DRP within 6 months. And once you have done that, you can actually right away after that you can apply for your conversion. But make sure your conversion is applied within 12 months from the date you register. Okay, so within 12 months. Let's say you have done your DRP in June. Okay, so or basically in 6 months. So you can actually, after 2 months, you have tidy up your proposal, you make it extended into a PhD, provide us the form. Okay, so maybe in month 8, for example, we'll get your supervisor to nominate the panels, and then we'll call for you like a mini viva. Okay, just to see how ready or how good your proposal is for a PhD. Once it is accepted, then it should be fine. We'll pass on to the meeting endorse, and then ultimately you will be able to convert. Okay, so within 12 months. Okay, I would say to be safe, month 8, for example. Okay, so month 8 also. But there are rules for conversion. Okay, so besides the DRP that you have done for your masters, you need to have published at least one conference proceeding, or you should have submitted to a journal. Okay, so two prerequisite. Either you are published in a conference proceeding or you're submitted to a journal. Okay, so you just give us the proof of either submission or publication. Okay, Haris? Okay, next one from Nurul Huda Abdul Aziz. How long is the period for a semester? For coursework will be standard will be 14 weeks. Okay, so for coursework will be 14 weeks, and then there would have exam, I think 14 weeks for some coursework. But for research, you'll be you can check from the academic calendar. Okay, so basically we have the start of kuliah and the end of kuliah, and when the semester, when the break begins, and so on. But for research, we don't really actually have fixed date, because sometimes students work over the holidays, and sometimes during the semester there might be, because it's your time. Research is really subjective, and it's your time, is how you actually work with your supervisor. But typically for coursework is 14 weeks. Okay. Okay, one Muhammad Faisal, bila nomination SV akan dilaksanakan? Okay, you can nominate your SV. We will have a deadline for a certain month. Okay, so the nomination of SV will be brought to the JAPIC meeting. So JAPIC meeting will be held end of the month. So normally we have cutoff date for a certain month. So for example, let's say 15 of every month. Okay, so before 15, so for example, if you submit the nomination to us this week, for example, we might be able to bring it to this month's meeting or next month's meeting. Okay, so you just submit, is either this month or next month, depends depending on the cutoff date. Okay, so we need to check on the date. So ultimately is either if you submit to us, there is no, how to say, there is no deadline for you to submit a nomination, but I would advise you do it as soon as possible so that you are not without a supervisor. Okay, so you might submit to us anytime this month, it will bring it to in either this month or next month meeting, and so on. Okay, so there is no fixed date you need to submit by 30th April. No, it's not fixed as such, because sometimes to get the supervisors to respond to you, it might take time, different student, different nature of supervisor, and so on. Okay, but as soon as possible, just try to do it as soon as possible. Okay, IGS and TIE will be conducted online. Yes, so far. Okay, so I was mentioned so by IPSIS. For DRP, only opening once per semester. No, twice. Okay, so you'll be once at almost beginning near to mid, and then another one will be towards the end. Okay, so the coming is around May, and also, if I'm not mistaken, around July. Okay, so there will be twice per semester. Nurul Nadia, for research, need to submit proposal, right? Yup, can be uploaded or sent manually to the campus. You can just submit to us. You can just email to siswaza.kpk@uitm.edu.my. Okay, so, or COE PG research. So either one of the email. Okay, Gabriel, may I know if, okay, wait, and this is okay, may I know if there are instances that I need to come or present to the college physically throughout the master's program, such as for submission of form or presentation? At this moment, no. Okay, so everything would be done through online. Okay, so at this moment, our Viva is also online. Our DRP is online. Progress report is up to the supervisor. Okay, so we do not dictate the supervisor not to do it physically or not to do it online. But from our side, it is all at this moment is online. Okay, Nazirul. Okay, I understand that IGS requires me to attend 8 modules before the DRP, right? Yep. Nevertheless, according to the academic schedule for 2023, and there are only 3 IGS and 5 IPSIS, so in total 8 module. No, IGS, no, IGS basically it would be a three-day program also. Okay, so within that 3 day, there will be 8 modules. Dia bukannya, so the enhancement skill is not compulsory. Okay, so compulsory is basically IGS. And that IGS usually is held over 3 days or so. And that 3 days will contain 8 modules. So maybe 2 hours of lecture, 1 module, or 1 hour of lecture, 1 module, and so on. So it is not a combination. So actually the 5 IPSIS enhancement skill is not compulsory. So it is just to enhance your skill. Sometimes they provide talk on communication, presentation, how to write good paper. So it's just to enhance your skill. Okay, so just going for IGS is sufficient and is compulsory. Okay, all right. Okay, so hence you would not need to extend your proposal period and so on. No. So IGS is done within that period, and that contains a module. Okay, Nurul Huda, I just need your clarification. As you outlined, maximum PhD period is 4 years. No, no, no. Maximum PhD period is 7 years. Okay, so GOT, graduated on time, is 4 years. But maximum period is 7 years. Okay, so just that 4 years is for a student to be graduated on time. Once you graduate on time, you are eligible to apply for Excellence Research Award, abiding to all the requirements just now that I've mentioned. Okay. In a case a student submit thesis in 1 year, it means the PhD is shortened. No, there is a minimum period of it. Okay, so for a PhD, minimum period is 2.5 years. Maximum 7 years. Graduate on time, 4 years in the middle. Okay, so if, let's say, you already have a very good master's research, and you think you can complete in the shortest period of time, your shortest period of time would be, you could submit your thesis in 4 semesters, 2 years, and you do your viva in the 5th semester, and get your Senet in the 5th semester. So from the time you register until your Senet, you'll be 5 semesters. That will be the minimum period for a PhD. Okay. Deep, can we do a DRP in 6 months for PhD? Yes, can. Okay, so the figure that I've given 1 year is just not exceeding that. So if you can do in 6 months, sure, you can register for the DRP, provided you have completed the IGS and also Thai Square. Okay, thank you. Okay. Cairo Nashan asks if I can just submit my final semester result for UiTM scholarship application because I couldn't apply mini transcript just yet. I think can. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, because the scholarship is not directly under us, so I'm not sure of the requirement, but I think you can get the endorsement from the if you're from UiTM, right? Okay, so if you're from UiTM, you can go to level 8, mention to them that you require if they can't give a mini transcript, allow them to print your at least the slip from your student portal, and they could endorse on it. Okay, so it comes from them, at least it is a legit document. And also completion, a letter of completion too. So you can go to level 8 requesting them maybe the at least that shows your CGPA, letter of completion, and they will need to endorse it, so it's quite legit as a document lah. Okay. Okay, since the classes are night time, Elmi is coursework so actually, Elmi, if you're asking about coursework, you should have entered Dr. Hafiz class, but however, I'll see if I can answer. Since the classes are night time, Ramadan starting, so will it be ODL classes during Ramadan? Okay, I suppose so. Okay, so I believe the lecturers would be doing ODL during Ramadan. And because for coursework, 80% will be ODL, 20% will be face-to-face. So I believe the lecturers will be placing a face-to-face at the back end of the semester. Okay, so should be so. Okay, all right. So I hope I've answered all your questions. Any other questions from the audience here? We have 63, which is quite a good number. So thank you very much for attending. I think it's a good number because we held this last semester, I think, and the number was less. Okay, so good. There are no questions, but let me just share again the link so that you don't miss it. Hold on. Okay, first I'll share with you the Telegram. Okay, so this is important. Make sure you are in there so that all the informations are delivered well to you. Okay, so make sure you are there. So, okay, so the above link that I've just provided would be for the Telegram. Okay, so go there. And another one will be the documents. Hold on, the material for today's talk. So quite a lot there. So we have placed it for research. We have actually placed it under different folders: registration, supervisor nomination. So at least you have everything handy there. Okay, so the other link that I provided would be the link to the documents for today, but please make sure do not delete anything because we are sharing it with everyone. So if anyone deleted, then the others might not get the information. Okay, so just be very careful with the drive. Make sure I suppose the documents would be good enough as a starter kit lah. Okay. All right. So I think if there are no yes, Nurina. Okay, so any other question? No? Okay, so Nurina, I'll just reply you because since you have given me in private, so I will reply you maybe after we end the session. Okay, before we end the session, can we please have a picture taken together? I really request this. So hopefully you can just open your camera for a while so that we can take a picture. Okay, anyone else? Okay, coming through. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, okay, we have completed as timed 11:26. All right, the others. I can see all the girls malu lah. Where are the girls? Okay, control. Okay, all right. So good enough. All right. So hold on, let me just close this chat box for a while. Okay, all right. So 1, 2, smile. Okay, another one. 1, 2, smile. Okay, all right. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you today. So if you have any question, just get back to me. I'll try my level best to assist you all the way through. Okay, so all the best to you. And I just want to state it again. You have started it, complete it. Sangat penting, very important. It's for your own sanity. Okay, all right. Thank you and have a good weekend, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Doctor.
Thanks a lot, Doctor.
You're welcome. Let's see, Norina. Okay, Nurina, yes, I see that you say that for the nomination you have 2 co-supervisor. Yes, for PhD you can have up to 3. For masters you can have up to 2. But I believe Nurina, if I'm not mistaken, you're PhD, so actually you can have up to 3 co-supervisors.